All right, so I'll just get started. Um, Thank you everyone for joining. My name is Jordan Edgett. I'm here representing Q. Along with me, I have Amber Paxini, who is with C3 Studios, which is part of Clear Creek ISD in Houston, Texas. Um, Amber does amazing work down in Houston. When I was first hired by Q, I went down there within weeks of being hired. Was told essentially, if you want to see a great show in the high school space, go down to Clear Creek. In the conversations that Amber and I have had in the last year, there's been a ton of people that have reached out to Amber about like, hey, what do you do? We want to do something similar. So I thought it'd be awesome to have Amber on board, share her experiences, how she set things up with her CTE department and all that. So would love to welcome Amber to this call.
Hi, guys. Thank you so much for joining us today. Just to give a little background about myself, originally from Memphis, studied radio TV at Arkansas State, and I transitioned to Texas A&M for a couple of years at 12 Man Productions to Rice Athletics working football. Everybody was a freelancer, and half of them became teachers. So I said, sure, I thought I'd be 2 and out. And this is year 14 in education, and it's been an amazing ride. I'm down in Clear Creek ISD. I was in the classroom for 9 years. And in 2016, we opened up Challenger Columbia Stadium. I had the opportunity to help build the control room and the video board structure with that, with my partner, Dave Durr, who was at Clearbrook High School. So one of the first things that we did when we went into that meeting was we decided, what do we want to do with this? What is our outcome? And our outcome was to deliver a live atmosphere that we cannot replicate in a classroom and bring it to these kids on a weekly basis. So we went in with industry standard equipment and control room ideas. And then we thought about the engagement part of this and how we can bring this a very engaging platform to our fans and make it more than a TV screen. It is a live game. And how do we bring that stadium, that community blended environment into our stadium on a Friday night? So anyway, for 3 years, my friend Dave Durr ran the football stadium, and then it transitioned to a full-time position. So in 2019, I moved over to the CTE AV program director. So I support all of our CTE AV teachers. Anybody that teaches Adobe from intermediate and high school, I have about 30 teachers. And I also create all the content for our CTE page and help publicize what the great things that our CTE programs do in our district. And then part of my job is also keeping up with the football stadium, creating all the marketing, working with our communications department. And we've expanded to a C3 mobile. So we also have a robotics event center that I'm supportive. I support where our kids go over and support about 20 events a year. We also support graduations, FFA show, district convocation, and any other multi-camera live stream that our district wants us to do. We do not support events outside the district, and usually it's 90% sports-based on what we do. So that's pretty much the gist of my current position. And with all that being said, we are very unique because we are funded through CTE. We are not general funds. We are not athletics. We treat it like an AV lab, which is very unique. And I think that allows us for our unique partnerships with such as Q, Dreamcatcher, Expression, really good engineers, some different things like that, is that we treat it a little differently. It's not a football game for us. It is a classroom. And if my kid on the high camera is having a problem, I can send a teacher up there right away to help them out. If my replay op isn't sure what they're doing, I have someone that can assist right away. And so I think that those are just some things that we do differently in Clear Creek ISD. So thank you for joining today. That's a little short recap, I guess, of what I do and what C3 is. Jordan, what else you got? Want to go to the next page?
No, that's great. Yeah, just kind of like highlighting our structure. Amber, we're going to take you through a few different slides. I'll also introduce a few different Q features that Amber has activated. So whether you're watching live right now or watching the recording of this, you'll see some QR codes on your screen. Feel free to take out your phone and participate in the activation. So again, whether that is live or while you're watching it recording, we'll have it live and ready to go. So again, feel free to scan that QR code to participate, get that fan experience. But yeah, I'll go to that next slide for you, Amber.
All right. So as I've already hit on, you're a very important team. I work very closely with marketing and communications. Clear Creek ISD has 5 comprehensive high schools and 2 schools of choice. So we work with the district marketing department since this is a district facility and everybody does it differently. Some sell directly from athletics, some work with boosters. So everybody's different. So at the moment, I'm the AV lead and I have our 6 AV teachers that help support our game day crew. And our current crew is 16 current high school students. Our students must be enrolled in the AV program. They are paid employees of the school district at $10 an hour. If they drop audio video or they happen to fail based off of UIL rules or they didn't go to school that day, then they can no longer work that evening or the rest of the season with us. So though we are a paid position with our students, we still hold them accountable for their actions during the school day. We are in uniforms. We wear khakis and polos to football games. We have C3 t-shirts that they're allowed to wear for robotics events. And for graduations, it's khaki pants and their polo. And for the FFA show, we let them wear jeans because we're in a barn. We work very closely with athletics and our stadium manager over all the events. And I do work with our rental facility. So if we do have someone who rents the stadium for an event, then we can support if they would like to pay for us. We also work with band VPA, like I said, robotics and other events like that. We have expanded to keep our former students on crew, which has been extremely helpful. I have about 15 to 20 former C3 Studio students who are either in college or have graduated that stay on crew. The priority on shift scheduling goes to our current students, but then they're on crew to fill some of our harder positions, such as director, producer, or they're on crew to train, replay audio, technical director. And if I do not have enough current students, then they will actually fill those positions. And what we've learned with keeping our former students on crew, it gives our current kids light at the end of the tunnel that they can stay in this industry and go work at Rice, U of H, Rockets, Dynamo, and make more than $10 an hour on a shift. And then it allows our interns to grow their skill set to go into those other pro sports and universities with a higher skill set. So a couple of things that we've changed since we started in 2016 is everybody plays commercials. And what is very unique with my position is that when we created the full-time position, we said we're getting rid of commercials. We were already doing that a little bit. Norman Frady was one of the first ones that allowed us to lose their commercial and do a community blended feature. So it's called Under the Hood. So Norman Frady brings you a look under the hood of CCISD's career and technical education programs. So we have 13 programs of specialty. So culinary, dentistry, auto tech, those are very big in a lot of school districts now. And so we make a 30-second feature about that program, and then we throw Norman Frady, which is now Fertitta Chevrolet, in the corner and book in their graphic. Houston Methodist is getting on the train. So we get athletics footage from all 5 of our high schools. Our students who are on those campuses help provide content, and then I edit all of that. Houston Methodist loves to change their marketing department as much as we change our socks. And so this year we've had to do a lot of rebranding with them, which is not a bad thing. It's just they are very, very particular with their branding guidelines. And so we've made everybody happy, which was a win. But we all know that what happens, not so much anymore, when a commercial comes on. We used to run to the restroom, go get something to drink, or play on our phones. So we don't want to treat our video board like a TV. We want it to be live and something that they're not going to get to watch twice. So some of our features we do every week, like our City of Webster does Think a Teacher. That is a new teacher that we think every week. Chick-fil-A has a student impact that features a club that's making an impact on our community or our campus. That's new every week. The Houston Methodist, the Under the Hood, and the Shriners, we do about 4 to 5 of those a season, and we rotate those. Same thing with our fan engagement. We have taken the basic things of what we're doing and we've elevated them one more step. So we used to do tweet to game on CCISD, and we would have to fake it. Our teachers would run around, get footage, send them to me a text message. I would go on at halftime, put them together, and move on. We just weren't getting that engagement that we thought we were. And then we also had a karaoke cam that was fun, and some fan cams were just very basic. So when I had the opportunity to partner with Q, they're doing post up. So now during the week where these kids are at school, there's flyers around their campuses and there's tiny URL links so they can start posting, like, see yourself on the board Friday night. And we've been getting a lot higher engagement. It's also on the concourse monitors and plays on the big screen during pregame in a loop for like the first 30, 40 minutes while people are walking in. And with that, we also can do a call to action for our bigger sponsors. So every 15, 20 seconds, here comes the Houston Methodist logo, or here comes the Fertitta Chevrolet logo. And it's not just 24/7 advertisements during pregame like it used to be. So more people are looking for them to be on the video board, and then all of a sudden they're getting 8 seconds of advertisement and they're not upset with that. So our fan engagement has increased with post up, and I find it's very easy. I just have to have a laptop. It can be, let's be real, the yucky laptops that our district gives everybody, those elite books, whatever they are, or it can be something a little bit heavier and robust. We use a Z book for our robotics AV teachers, so we're using that one to run the software. Selfie cam, I run this for the Texans, and I was very nervous to implement this in a high school, but we have a very unique student body, and it's so different than if a kid does something not appropriate. We find it on replay, send it to the AP, and they get kicked out. There's nothing different between doing that with our live cameras and with the selfie cam. So with the selfie cam, what this does is it allows anyone with a cell phone to go live to the screen. And I was very nervous, but the very first day we had it, and Jordan was there, a kid standing in line buying a hot dog, which I think it's that picture actually, got on the screen. And that just made me so happy, because that is what we're about. We're trying to include every single person at that stadium. And I just thought that was the coolest thing. So we start off our selfie cam with giving the code to the voice, our PA op. And so they're on the camera, let's see yourself on the screen, scan away. And then we give the VIP code to the cheer coaches or the band instructors or the APs that are around campus. And so they're getting those first few shots to get us going. It's been a lot of fun. And we've also, this year, you can, we've kind of upped the marketing on that one, where you can sell advertisement on the phone as well. So you can have advertisement, and then when they close it, they get a coupon. Our sponsors really like that. And on the side of it, the front side, creating that content, it's very simple if you can use Photoshop or Canva. So the next one is our fan cam elevated. So this one, we have 2 wireless cameras, and I love it because we're now doing AR cams. So I have the helmet or the funny smiley faces, or it's raining confetti of your team. And so we've elevated it another way. And as you can see, the kids are loving it. Everybody wants to be on camera. And so it's just another way to up our game. And Nassau Bay is very happy with that. So yeah, so those are kind of our big 3 interactive features that we have, and I'm excited to see what else we can do with them.
And before I go to the next slide, just an FYI, these 2 QR codes, those are not the ones to scan. I'll show you those in a little bit, but I'll take you to the next slide.
All right. So I think I hit on most of this already, is that we want a high environment or high energy environment. It's not a TV, and we want our people to be invested. So one example would be the city of Webster mayor was like, we want to do something to recognize your teachers. And so we put our thinking caps on and we said, we're going to thank a teacher. And this is the 3rd year we've done this partnership with them. So we have 12 games this year. We spotlighted 10 teachers. The process, I grab all the teacher of the years, and I pull out the campuses that we highlighted the year before, throw them in the wheel of names, and then Google populates them for me. Check with HR, we're good. we go to the classroom, shoot a little feature for it. That is unique because of my position being out of the classroom. But the other part about it is all the teachers this year have wanted to come to the games to see themselves on the screen. And the mayor's even shared that she's been recognized more for the work she's done with that feature than anything else in the community. So that makes my heart really happy because I feel like we never get to say thank you to our teachers enough. And on their side, the city of Webster gets, like, they all had to stay for Great Wolf Lodge, $100 to the local furniture store. All the different restaurants are giving $15, $20 gift cards, custom cookies with the school logos. And they're all doing that. We don't have to do anything but show up. So those are some really unique things that we're doing. And when you know that your teacher is going to come up there on the screen, and if we see them in the stands as well, we'll get them live on the camera. So we want to make sure that we try to not repeat content because we want everybody to go, who's going to come up next? And am I going to know them? And is it going to be me? So we really want to make that blended feature of what the sponsor's vision is, what is your message, and then how can we incorporate it in our district? And I think we've done a really good job with that. In some of our pre-recorded features, we do Shriners T-Kid, which we stole from the pros in college football. So Shriners gives us t-shirts. We get a little kid, hold him by the back of the jersey. As soon as kickoff happens, they run out, grab the tee, run back. They wave at the camera, and we put that together in the replay machine and throw it in way down the field or way down the timeline, like third quarter. We also do a lucky row where, again, we take a camera up into the crowd. Either the kid can record to a card and we can transfer that footage later, or that's also goes into replay with sponsorship attached. So I would say a wireless camera to support is a great addition. And we don't even have a really fancy one. It's one of them that the kids are using in their high school classrooms. So it's very user friendly for the kids to use it in their high school and then to come use it over here at the stadium. Again, these go to different features. Whataburger starting lineup, think of teacher, student impact, and South Shore, thank you first responders. A couple of years ago, we were like, how do we get the PAs out of the stadium? We're not focused on football anymore. We're too busy reading a bunch of yucky stuff that nobody's paying attention to anyway. So I started talking to a bunch of my freelance buddies, and my one goes, do you have concourse monitors? And I said, yes, we do. And he goes, make one of those dedicated marketing. Talk to me more. So what we did is we decided to invest, our district does Carousel, and it runs off of an Apple TV, and it wasn't a couple of $100 to get this guy rolling. And so what happens is all of the sponsors have a full page 10-second ad that's in rotation. And our highest sponsor is Houston Methodist, so please forgive me, I might be wrong. They get 4 hits every rotation. And then South Shore's the next one, they get 3 hits, and so on and so on, even down to our game day sponsor. So I think right now, by the time you add in these, it's like a 6-minute roll, and then it just rotates. So while you're buying your hot dog, you can stand there, and the 2 outside monitors have the game going on, and then the one in the middle of the concessions is sponsorship. And that just allowed us to pull those PAs that we all so much adore out of the video board and that side and put it into something that more people are going to have their eyes on. So I would say the less PAs, the better. We do have a few PAs for our higher tiered sponsors, which that's what they want. They're giving us money, so we do it. The a la cartes, we do a game day sponsor. We started off with 1 hit per quarter, so that was 4, and then we realized we don't have that much time. And you guys know there's no guaranteed timeouts in high school football besides your quarter breaks. Halftime doesn't even count because the bands are there, and we want to make sure we do a really good job covering the bands. So we definitely have those. This year we had a quarter that we didn't sell of replays, so we added that one in as a floater. And then same thing with the quarter breaks. So everything kind of has its different price point. So if it's just a feature, it's one price point. If it's crowd interacting, that's a second kind of price point. And obviously replays, you're getting a lot of visual hits with that. So those are kind of a little bit more pricey as well.
So the next couple of slides, I have your videos. I'll just do one. You mentioned like the Shriners, the Lucky Row. So I'm gonna play one right now, just so folks get
Tonight's hardworking C3 Studios student video crew is sponsored by Jason's Deli, Red River Barbecue, Red River Cantina, Maggiano's Little Italy.
So this is a great example of how we feed our kids. We don't pay for food, we trade for sponsorship. So we have 4 different restaurants that trade us through the season, and our teachers are responsible for picking that food up. So whoever campus is closest to that location, I just send an email and trade for it. And so what we did was I just made a montage of pictures that, you know, I'm really bad at Twitter this year, so please don't look at it. But in the past, I take pictures and put them out there. So this is something great. We pick up food at 4:15. They eat at 4:45. We have a 5 p.m. meeting, and we go on our merry way. Let's see. Yep. So we just hit number 1. Number 2, get your wireless camera. That's the best thing. And then number 3 is have you run a show with a script. So with our rundown, I have no problem sharing everything because I stole this from somebody else because we all share everything. That's what makes us better and grow and learn. And it's very important that everybody knows what we're doing. So we have a pregame meeting with everybody included. There's our pregame timeline, and I send that to coaches, band. If I have a visiting cheer sponsor, I'll send that to them so they understand what's going on. We've got homecoming, senior night. This week we had a dance clinic. So it's very important that everybody is on the same page and understands what's going on. And these are students who are running these positions. So the more detail I can give them, ideally the less room for error. We are going to make mistakes. That's okay, as long as we are trying and we're not in the middle of a Snapchat when we make a mistake, then we're okay with it. So that's kind of our rundown example. And again, no problem for Jordan to share all this information with you guys. The must-haves. You just saw the run sheet, the script, the master schedule and events, and the game day crew. So I have a Google Doc that has all that information on the left side of your screen. So today I just finished up the last 4 games and what positions they're doing. When I start off the season, we don't know what these kids are good at doing. And where we think that Amber is going to be a great replay operator, she may not know football and doesn't really do that good of a job. So I just schedule a crew. I just say, hey, all these people are working, and then we figure out what you're doing like the week of. And this year, one thing I added was every Sunday they get a remind, tell me what you worked. Did you like it? Did you not? And what do you want to do next game? And so today I printed off all the feedback and went through and made sure that every kid got to try everything they wanted. Did I cringe a little bit when I put certain kids in positions? No doubt. But that's what we do. We learn and we hold their hands and we'll figure it out. So Google Forms are my buddies. I also have a Google Calendar that's a tiny URL link. So Remind is my biggest point of contact with these kids. And then the Google Calendar, everything's on the calendar, including who's feeding us, if it's a senior night, are we having intermediate AV observations, anything like that.
Now, the next slide I have is going to be starting to introduce Q and what you've done with us over the last couple of years. I have a question before. So my background, I used to be a high school athletic director, Massachusetts, small public school. You're coming from a big district in Texas. If I'm, watching this, I don't have any experience with, fan engagement, with sponsorships. What would you recommend just getting started? What would be your first purchase, your first structural?
Find a buddy. So find a buddy. Find out if you have a video board, figure out who installed it. Because a lot of the companies that are doing video board installs have support for you. Just because you build it doesn't mean that your AV teachers can operate it. And we want our AV teachers to be supported. There are so many freelancers in the Houston area that are supporting game day people, like teachers in school districts. So my first thing would be, if you don't have someone comfortable, let's find you someone. You don't have to have a video board. You can do live streams. And you don't have to have fancy gear. But I think the game changers are work with what you have and figure out what are the must-haves that you got to have. You got to have 2 cameras. And then I love the fact with a laptop, you can do so many things. I can run PowerPoints off of graphics. I can run social media and Q off of it. So a laptop is very powerful. vMix is the big craze right now with a lot of lower price points for operations. And there are so many amazing high schools that are doing everything off of vMix, from replays to sponsorship. So I think the biggest thing is networking. Find you a buddy. There's tons of Facebook groups and those kind of things. But if you can get 2 cameras, some kind of intercom system, Clearcom makes one. It's $1,200. You use cell phones. The district gave us some old iPhones, and we use them at robotics and FFA. That works great. It's called Agent IC. So for $1,200, you can have 8 wireless intercom systems. So if you can do something like that with the laptop, and then you need some kind of switcher. It could be a laptop, it could be an ATM Mini for like $400 or $500. You do not have to break the bank on a huge control room for these kids to learn. And you need to give whoever is in charge of it, give them time and give them support. This takes a lot of setup time. I'm there on game days by 1 o'clock and everything's ready for the most part, where other people are in the classrooms till 4 o'clock and expected to be ready by a 7 o'clock kick. We need to understand, if I'm asking them to have a 7 o'clock kick, they probably need to sub for the half day to mentally prepare for this game day.
Cool. Thanks, Amber. Now let's hop into a little bit more about Q. So we started in 2017, smartphone light show company. That's how we're known for the most part. We do have the video board products that we'll go over here in a second, but it's our light show that was our flagship product. You all gave it a try last year with a pep rally. Talk about feedback, and I'll go ahead and play this video too. I'll play it without sound so that you can speak to the experience with the students.
Yeah, so one of our high schools had their blackout pep rally, and they allowed me to demo this, and it was a huge response. So much, in fact, that the second song we did, they thought that was their exit, and they all started leaving with Sandstorm. But what was cool about it is the students loved it, and it was 100% engagement if the kid wanted to be engaged. Because you know that when you go to a pep rally, and this school's enrollment's of around 2,300, and I don't know how they can decide who gets the pep rally, but y'all know half the time the people go in the pep rally, they're not paying attention because they're not involved and they don't feel like they're part of it. So having the light show, I was very impressed of how many kids, and even the football players are pumping it up when I was walking around. They really enjoyed it. And the dance coach asked me if they did it next time, could we use their song? And Jordan said, yes, they have ways to put our own music into the software, and I can edit to that. And on the editing side, I liked it because, nothing against Clear Lake, they didn't make it very far after the season, but I took their song and duplicated it for Clear Falls for the playoffs, and then I just changed out the graphics. So with that, I got to save a lot of my time by just switching over from Clear Lake to Clear Falls graphics.
Cool. Yeah, appreciate that. So the light show, no Wi-Fi, no data is required. Everything with Q is completely white labeled. Love that you guys did pep rally. That second clip was from a homecoming. So any event on campus, and I'm going to share my screen again with a different window, just to kind of give you the back end. So you saw the end result with all the lights, but you can also edit the on-screen content, as well as doing a redirect. So I'm going to pull up, this is the back end. I'll just give you another experience, again, with music off. Let me turn the music off this time. So again, this is all customizable, white label. You can put all your branding, your logos in. You have your lights that are around these preview phones. So I'm going to play. Without the music. And then, so as you can see, you got the Clear Creek logo there. You can add in any gifts, any sponsors. So there's a couple fun gifts that I've included for Texas Roadhouse to make people hungry as the light show is going off. You can also redirect folks. So once that light show is over with, if you want to send them to your website, to a sponsor website, to a selfie cam, to a trivia, to again, a sponsor coupon highlighting that sponsor. So lots of different options and engaging ways to include a light show. We talked about pep rallies, homecoming. The most popular activations are football and basketball introductions. We've done some halftime shows with bands, with dance, with cheer. Essentially any event that has folks that you're looking to engage, break the ice, if it's a freshman orientation, homecoming, all those fun things. So let's move along to our video board products and then a quick time check. Okay, 1:34. So Post Up is my favorite personally. It's a social aggregation platform where your students, your fans can scan in and share content. So this is the first tab right here where you can scan in right now. So if you're watching live, you can scan in and participate. This is one of a few different ones you can do that. So Amber had mentioned using Post-Up for FFA, for robotics, for their football games. So here you can see that students and people at the events are scanning in and submitting. It's fun ways for those students to get up on that video board. Why I like Post-Up, it's inclusive, right? It's not just for athletics, it's for all events, it's for all kids, all groups, all activities. We do have some schools that are using it for their yearbook staff. So throughout the school year, whatever event, whatever group, whatever team, they're going to have those kids highlighted in the school halls on those video display screens. So at the end of the year, that yearbook staff has content, images from all students, all groups. And it's not just content from those seniors that are part of that yearbook group. So what you're seeing, that was FFA and then robotics. And now we have from football games. So these are from content that was shared at games this fall. And as you're seeing, there's multiple different layouts. So in this case, there's 6 images being shared, all of it, again, completely white labeled. So putting in your branding, your sponsors, everything that is important to you. Anything to add on Post Up? Anything that you're going to try? Have you done AI filters yet?
Oh, we have not. We have not. So robotics is not a very exciting event. We're usually sitting there twiddling our thumbs. And last year I was like, why aren't we doing Post Up? And it was so fun. And there was a kid that took a picture of himself, posted it, would wait for it to come back, and then took a picture of himself in the picture. And I think he got up to like 10 pictures of himself, and it was just a game all day. But it was a lot of fun to use it outside of sports. FFA show as well, because that's a 3-day event. So we've got the swine show one night, and you've got all the time because the animals have to leave, and the second heat comes back. And on day 2, it's 6 different heats of animals. So we've got all this dead time. So it was great. And then night 3 is the auction, which you have more of the community members involved. And it was nice to showcase that we are not focused directly on sports, that we are including outside activities as well and making them feel important. And I think that was a big takeaway with our school board about using Post Up everywhere.
Post Up, these video board products are all web-based. Should have mentioned the light show is app-based. So whether that is using the Q Live app or us integrating our SDK directly into your school's app. So if your athletic department or school has an app, we can have it live directly there. Similar to Post Up, we have Fancy, and Amber, you mentioned Fancy, the selfie cam where students are going live to that board. So I'm gonna just hit a CTA, so a little feature that we have on Post Up, where at any point you can go in and click for a video, a picture, so that it comes up on your screen as an overlay. So in this case, here's the video of CCISD's selfie cam. So an example of what they did at a game. So in this case, you get some students that are going live to that board. I'll stop talking now so folks can check it out. And this is, that QR code is not active either. So it's simply scanning that QR code, and then on that moderation page, so just like with post-up, there is an admin, there's a moderation page. So with post-up, if someone submits something inappropriate, no one will see that until that admin hits approve. Same with Fancy, you'll have that moderation page, and you'll be able to put the people that you want on the video board. So Amber, I know that you probably have a few students that you know that you're like, no, I'm not putting you on. I know what will be a result of that.
You can tell when, you just can tell. As sad as it is, like you got three kids about the age of 13 that are sitting there with the look in their face, nope. But the cute little kid between mom and dad, yes. So.
Going back to post up just for a quick second, I mentioned AI filters. I just wanted to show a different screen that has both AI filters and Fanatic filters. So excuse some ugly mugshots that are on the screen. This one right here that just turned was a Fanatic filter. There'll be a couple AI filters that do come through here in a second. This which one is a theme pack for Fanatic filters. There's another, they're going to start rolling through with the filters. There's a few different ones. Here's a Star Wars AI filter. Again, excuse the ugly mugshot. If you're an eagle, here's a good eagle example for a mascot. Here's a Renaissance painting AI. There's a lot of really cool prompts that you can put together. We've had way too much fun just going through the AI filters. Want to show that. All right, so we are going to move on to Trivia Mania and polling. So these are perfect products for timeouts, for half times, for in between quarters, just like those breaks and plays. This example, right, what you're seeing right now, and again, if you're watching this live, go ahead and scan that QR code. I'll make it go live here in a second. If you're watching a recording, again, you can scan in and participate. So I'm going to give folks a couple seconds to scan in if they'd like to participate. Simple, again, this is what it's looking at on the main board, and when you scan in, you'll have the experience on your phone. So I will do that. I'm going to go to the back end and I'm going to hit start. So now on your phone, you should have that countdown screen. If you're watching it remotely on the recording, you will see that countdown and it'll take you through the process as well. All of this is customized to your branding, to your experience, to your sponsors, to your district. It can be very specific questions to your school, to your teams, or it can be something that's fun with, putting together a Ted Lasso little trivia. So for those that are participating that have seen Ted Lasso, you have a little advantage here. In this case, there's there's 6 questions. It can be short answer, it can be multiple choice. At the end, you'll see a leaderboard. So if you do want to give out gifts, prizes, rewards, you can. If you want to tie in a sponsor, you can do that. So this, excuse me, this is the second to last question. And then there's a short answer. The quicker that you do submit an answer, the more points that you do get. So that kind of trims out the tiebreakers. And then you'll see on your phone, if you participated, you're gonna get a participation coupon from Jimmy John's. Sorry to let you know that does not work. It's just an example. But it can be a participation prize where everyone who plays, you can give out, or you can give it to, 1 winner, 2 winners, 3 winners, etc. Amber, any fun examples that you've used both trivia and polling. I know when I was there, you did a halftime hype song for
Yes.
polling.
So for high school football, we did vote on your halftime hype song, and that was fun. And then we did it this summer for the admin leadership camp. We used post up when people were walking in, and the call to action was like, send us a picture of what you did this summer. And then we did trivia. It was like an Olympics theme. So the questions were, half of them were about the Olympics and half of them were just based on CCISD. And then we also did open-end questions for feedback about things. Instead of just like going to a Google form or Excel sheet, we used this, which was fun. We got and one of the questions was even like, we would do this and we would, instead of it being 4 answers, it was 1, 2, and 3 and 4 stars. And then the next question was, please expand on your previous rating, I think is what we did.
Perfect. Very cool. And then we also did some trivia for the district convocation. Love to talk to you about that event. So we use a fan kit, which here I'll show you in a second. So for the folks, the clients that do run multiple products with us, instead of having your fans, your students scan in multiple different QR codes, we do have the ability to have everything together through one QR code. And that's what CCISD did for their district convocation. So love to hear about like your thought and how you were planning that and what kind of led you to decision to kind of pursue something like this with the fan kit.
Yeah, so we have around 5,000 employees in our district, and we're too big for anything local. And the local church that could fit us wanted $20,000. We were like, y'all got jokes, because we don't have that kind of cash to spend. So what we did was each campus picked a spot at their campus, and the library, the gym, pack, whatever they did. And then we watched it we streamed it from one high school, and then we sent it to 45 different locations off of Vimeo. And we were trying to figure out, how do we include all of our campuses? Because we know that if I'm sitting here watching somebody else's reality show, it's not that fun. So what we did was we had a 20-minute pre-show, and a big piece of that was post up. And so we had plans on campuses. So we'd already had the admin, because we pitched this at the district leadership. So that way they knew what to expect at convocation. So they were already going around getting pictures. And so you would have the Bowerschlag Bears pop up on the screen, and then, the Clear Springs Chargers or whatever. So it was just a big hodgepodge of everybody in the district. And then within that, we had some of our theater kids hosting the pre-show, and they would pitch the selfie cam. And so they would go live, and we heard that it was a really good experience because people would see their friends from other campuses they haven't seen all summer. So we were really trying to find a way to be inclusive with our content when we could not all be in one location. And I would say it was a big hit. And then on the back side of that, we were able to batch download all this content. So our district's communication team was very happy, because I think they got over 800 pictures from district convocation within that 30-minute window that they were able to use all season long.
Awesome. That was so cool. And the fact that you just tried something new for an event like that with that many schools, I think it was really cool to do. On my screen, what you're seeing is an example of what the Dallas Stars do. So this is their fan kit. So everything is with their branding, their logos, their sponsors, where their fans will scan in and they can participate in whichever activation. So whether that is their trivia, they got bingo, they have their fan cam, they have post up. So just clicking in and being able to participate, submit photos directly just through that one link. And then, so that's a lot of what we've done together. And we've talked about a lot of other things that, in the future and fun ideas. I want to talk about AR Prize Drop. So one of our newest products that we introduced this summer, that we've started to talk about ways that we can incorporate that into CCISD. So I'm going to share a different tab. So AR prize drop, augmented reality. So if you've ever been at an arena where there are prizes that are falling from the rafters. So hockey, basketball arenas, those indoor facilities. We've even seen the Seattle Mariners do it with hot dogs this season. So Google that. That was pretty funny. Essentially, you can have your fans, your students, open up the app, open up the phone, scan in, and participate in the activation and get prizes. So if you're watching now, feel free to scan that QR code. I'm going to start that activation right now. So you can go in and move your phone around and see all of the prizes that are dropping from your screen. So go ahead and hit start. And just to show you on my screen what a lot of that looks like, I'm going to show you a different video. Definitely a fun one for kids, again, to get prizes, to get rewards, to get, team swag, gifts. This is a popular one among sponsors, as you can see. Here's a Coca-Cola can across your screen, where you can get a free Coke can at the game. Chick-fil-A, if you're putting a cow on your dropping from your screen, or having Dunkin' Donuts, having that donut coming from the screen. So we've talked about activating this at ISD at some point, and looking forward to doing that and kind of getting that in front of teams. So on this call as well, we do have a special guest, and Trish, I hope that we can give access to her microphone to, maybe we can do that, maybe I can do that. Her name is McKenna Moore, a former, let's stop sharing, a former CCISD student who has gone through Amber's program and is now working with a ton of different groups. Thank you for being here. Would love to hear about your experience. Catch us up with what you're doing now, where you're working, where you're taking courses. Amber's kind of told me a lot about what you've been doing.
Yep, so I'm currently still at University of Houston. I'm a media production major. I just started my marketing classes for my minor. I work everywhere in Houston besides Rockets, so it includes Astros, Texans, Rodeo Houston, U of H, Rice, and then Dynamo and Dash, Shell Energy Stadium. And basically started at See-Through Studios under Amber, and that was just an amazing thing to go through because I had no idea what I wanted to do. And so being able to go through that program and learn there using the equipment that we're using in the professional settings just set me up for an amazing opportunity. I'm way ahead of a lot of kids my age, which is like an unbelievable thing to imagine. And just walking into those places, knowing what to do and being able to say, oh, I've already done that, I've learned this. It's just, yeah, I don't know what else.
Significant advantage. That's really cool. With the growth of CTE as it is today, with how popular, how it's expanding a crazy amount, have you seen that among students, like, in the world where you all grew up, with phones and technology? Have you seen that with a lot of your friends and a lot of your classmates that are interested in doing things like this?
Yeah, everything's through social media. We stay now with friends from high school who don't really talk in person anymore. So being able to do this through social media and having those, it's just an easier way to keep in touch and, network and connect out there. And something that I think, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago wouldn't have been as popular with my group nowadays.
And do you go back to campus and help Amber out once in a while?
Yes, so I'm currently still under like an internship with her. So I go back, I train the students, like she was saying earlier, some of the hard positions as producing and directing, which still lets me learn because when I was there, I wasn't producing, more just directing. But now getting to come back and have those opportunities, I think it's made me a better director when I go out to other places such as Rice or U of H, where I am doing smaller shows, but being able to still direct them and learning patience, because I mean that's the most important thing when it comes to this field and students. And I love also teaching when I go back there and seeing those kids find a position that they like and just watch it kind of click for them. And they're like, okay, I like this one. This one's fun. And just seeing like that's where I was a couple years ago.
Very cool. Thank you for speaking to your experiences. It's really cool to see a program like C3 Studios providing these opportunities for these kids, giving them what they're looking for. The demand is there, and that's why we're on this call, right? To give these schools an opportunity to learn and provide more for their students. So I applaud both of you for that, and thank you both for being here. We're 6 minutes away, so I did want to give that time for any Q&A. So if you do have any questions, feel free to put those in the chat. Yeah, thank you, Amber. Thank you, McKenna.
Thank you.
Anything that I forgot, Amber? Or anyone
No,
else?
I think, we got to remember what we're doing. We're there to teach the kids. And there's no wrong way to teach these students as long as we are doing the right things. And what I mean by that is this is probably their first job. So they're not going to understand how to reply to emails or how to show up on time or proper protocol. They have to miss a shift. So we have to help them learn those little steps to help them be successful when they get to that next level. Because just like McKenna, when these kids leave us, they don't care what's going on in your life. They just need you to show up. So you have to figure out, how do you properly tell your boss, I'm going to be late? How do you show up and make sure that you're dressed appropriately? The biggest thing is always respond to an email. Lisa, it's one word: received. How do we get our pay sheets done in time? That accountability goes to these 16-year-olds. And so how do we help them find success in that learning atmosphere? I think that's the biggest thing, is the bigger picture of all of this to me. And then, it's fun on game day. It's very exciting to see them, like McKenna said, to find their niche, figure out what they want to be, those kind of things.
Yeah, when I was an AD, so that was but 5 or 6 years ago. Never thought there would be these types of products that are available to students, to schools. I think that's really cool that we're priced to high schools, significant discount compared to the pro and college clients that we do work with, so we can provide these opportunities for them. Yeah, I think it's really cool. I never thought I would be activating something like that, or providing that for students. And the fact that it is an option is really cool. Well, if there's no questions, I think we can end the webinar. So
Jordan,
thank you
guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks again, Amber. Thanks again, McKenna. And thank you for everyone who is watching live or watching the recording. Our website is connectwithq.com. You can find me at jordan@connectwithq.com. If you need me, hop on a demo, any questions, happy to help out. Cool. Thank you.